We've used this lead generation tool to generate hundreds of thousands of dollars for our clients, with one of them literally saying,
say working with you has single-handedly grown and kept my company alive.
now the tool that I'm talking about is clay.com. And in this video, I'll break down how we use it to build a AI-powered lead generation system that consistently books us and our clients 10 to 20 calls every single month. And if you stick around till the end of the video, I'll literally even give away the exact Clay workflows that we use so that you can just copy and paste it inside of your own business. Let's dive right into it. Okay, so now that we're on Clay, I'll show you pretty much two of our biggest and best use cases that you can use Clay for. And to be honest with you, there's quite frankly so many different ways you can use Clay to generate new leads, but these are just two of the best ways that we found. So this is a Clay table that we have here, and I'll explain what everything is, but first, this table pretty much assumes that you already have a lead list. So whether you're on Apollo, or whether you've built a lead list off of Apollo, or Ocean, or Outscraper, or any lead sourcing tool that you use, this table you do need a lead list for. So what I have here is a sample lead list pretty much of PT clinics, since one of our clients goes after PT clinics, and it has their name, their website, and their email. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna download this, boom, and then we're gonna upload this lead list inside of Clay. So let me just show you how this works. You're gonna go to Actions here. We're gonna import from CSV, and we're gonna upload that Clay table or the lead list. And what we're gonna do is you see here we already have a column for email, website, and name. That's pretty much where we're gonna put the data sources that we had from the last step. So email and name. Again, this is a sample table. So now that we've inputted it, what this table will do, again, this isn't the only examples, but what this table will do is it'll give you an idea of how many different ways you could do it, right? How many different ways you could use Clay. So what I have here first is, okay, we pulled these three from the websites, but what are these other columns that I have in here? Well, first we're gonna validate if the email is valid, right? We're gonna see, okay, is this a valid email? Because if you don't know already, about 40 to 50%, oh no, probably like 50 to 60% of the leads you pull from Apollo, from Ocean, from Outscraper, whatever it may be, they're not valid. And so to ensure that we're only sending the valid emails and we're not wasting time sending the invalid emails or wasting time sending the emails that are not valid and that cause our domains and emails to land in spam, we're gonna make sure that we only send to valid emails. So you can see here, we're only sending to valid emails, right? Or we're validating if the email is valid. Then what we're doing is we are using AI to actually score this lead list. So pretty much on Clay, what you can do is you can integrate ChatGPT and into your lead list. And so how you can do that is you go to Add Enrichment right here, put ClayGent, and it's like I said, it's an AI web researcher, but you want to go to model here, and you can use Claude, you can use Gemini, whatever it may be. I prefer OpenAI, and so you can just use the 4.0 mini, and you can write whatever prompt you want for any lead that you want, right? So this column here is pretty much an AI lead scoring column. So what this will do is this will look at the website of the company, and it'll basically score the lead on how likely it is that they match a certain criteria. So what we said was, okay, is it a physical therapy clinic that has over 100 Google reviews or has 2 or more doctors? And so you can see here, this is a 5 out of 10 because they don't match that criteria. This is a 10 out of 10 because they exactly match that criteria. So I'm sure you're starting to see how powerful this can be, because you can literally find and reach out to your ideal customers, because sometimes Apollo and Ocean and Outscraper, they don't have the best lead quality, right? So an example I always like to give of this is, I remember one time we were running a campaign for real estate, right? One of my clients wanted to go after real estate developers, but the problem was that real estate developers were listed under so many different categories. They were listed under real estate, commercial real estate, architecture, construction, and so there's like 4 industries that we had to go through on Apollo just so we can get real estate developers. But what we did was we used something like this to make sure that we're only reaching out to our ideal customers, right? And so you can use this for any which way possible that you want. In fact, if you do this in your outbound stuff, you will literally work with your dream customers. This happened for one of our clients, Matthias, who signed one of his dream customers.
I kind of met kind of a dream client after, a lot of phone calls. I bumped into what I think might be a dream client, and this client wants to work with me for the rest of her life, she said.
And so when you do it like this, you will work with your dream customers and you will filter out bad ones, right? So this is one of the ways you can use AI. The second, what we're doing here is high ticket service. So for this one, and again, you can just copy this prompt. What it is here is pretty much a way to figure out what type of leads they want. So for all of you targeting local businesses, let's say, you're offering lead generation services like, hey, we'll help you get more roofing appointments, we'll help you get more dental clinic patients, right? This is very, very valuable because what you're doing is you're pretty much saying, hey, go to their website, find me their dream customer, their ideal customer that they would want to work with. And so for physical therapy clinics, it's very, very different. So it'll say like, okay, manual therapy, robotic assisted therapy, pelvic floor therapy. So like every single person is different. So again, for those of you pitching leads and you're offering lead generation, this works super well because you're not going to be like everybody else that's reaching out to them, right? These clinics and these small businesses, they get emails like this all the time. They know how Google Ads or Meta Ads or SEO works. And so if you can do this, instead of just pitching leads, you're pitching the specific type of service they offer in your outbound emails and stuff, and you're saying, hey, I know you offer this, we can pretty much get you more of that. And the reason why this prompt works so good is because it's their high ticket gig or booking. So meaning their highest selling service, the most expensive service that they can possible, right? And you see how specific these gets, right? Like pelvic floor therapy, Corvia I don't even know what this is, but that, right? And this works super, super well. All right, because you're literally pitching their exact type of lead. Then with the third part of the prompt is normalizing the name. So oftentimes when you pull names off of Apollo or Outscraper or Ocean, and you want to use the company name in the email, it'll be like Gamic Media Inc., Gamic Media Corporation, Gamic Media LLC, right? So to get rid of that, what you can do is run a prompt like this, where it just normalizes the company name based off of the website and the name itself, right? And you're just saying, hey, don't use LLC, make it sound human, and all of that good stuff. And then finally, the last part of the prompt is the competitor. And this works super well, again, if you're targeting local businesses, because you have to think in the mind of a local business owner, right? The way they think is, okay, I've been in business for 20 years. There's a competitor down the street, like 1 mile from me, that also offers the same thing, but they're my competition. How can I beat them, right? Is there a way for me to beat them and steal their customers? And so if you can pitch pretty much beating their competition in the emails itself and the way that they beat their competition is through your offer, your product or service, you will get them hooked and they will hop on a call with you. So pretty much what this prompt is doing is saying, hey, look at the website of this company, find me their competitors and just output it. And again, here it is. It'll be like, okay, Acadia Healthcare, Luna Care, and all of these people are the competition of these PT clinics, right? So this is pretty much an example of how you can use Clay. We first scored the lead on how good it is and how much it matches our ICP. We then looked at the website and was like, okay, find me their high ticket service or gig or booking. We normalized the company name, and then we also called out their competition. So these are just like 4 ways you could use Clay with just AI. It's extremely powerful, especially this table itself if you're working with local small businesses. And by the way, you might be like, okay, Aryan, that's cool, but what does that run condition not met mean? So pretty much what I had this prompt do was, okay, we first scored the lead on 1 to 10 on how likely it is that they are X, right? So what I had to do here was I was like, okay, only run the next prompt if this lead is 6 or more. So what I mean is we can delete all the ones that have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 because they're not a good fit, right? Or we'll do 1 through 5 because they're not a good fit. And so we only want to run this if it's 6 or more because they're likely to be a better fit. And so we're not wasting time enriching data that isn't there. By the way, this stuff is pretty cheap too. It's like, look at this, 0.0007 cents, right? But we're only running if they are 6 and above. And so this table for us, for our clients, we've literally helped them book so many calls with this because it works so well with small businesses, right? But if you want a table like this, I'll actually have it inside of my community where you can just get this table. So just join go to the description below, join my free school community, and I'll give you this entire table for free. Just so you can get even if you're not reaching out to small businesses, you can still copy and paste some of the stuff like the AI scoring and the competitor, so you can just plug and play everything in, right? So that's the first example of how you can use Clay. The second example is a bit more complicated and is a bit more technical, but I'll walk you through how this works, right? So to give you some background, this client, they wanted to go after, I believe it was a specific type of, it's called an M&A lawyer. And if you don't know what that is, it's a lawyer that represents a company when they're looking to sell or buy other companies, right? And so what they had was the name of the law firm, that recently, because you have to think about it, M&A lawyer, they're working with these big corporations worth millions and millions of dollars. So anytime a company is acquired by another company and it's like $1 million transaction or more, it's public news, right? And so they had like a list of law firms that specialize in M&A or have certain, or were on the news for M&A, and they had like a list of all these lawyers who were pretty much on there, right? They only had the name, right? Keep in mind, we're only getting started with the law firm name and the headquarters. So here's what we did. They wanted M&A lawyers from this law firm. And so what we did was pretty simple. Or not simple, but a little complex, but you just follow along. What we did was we first said, okay, GPT, we are looking for the website of this company that's recently evolved in a M&A acquisition or mergers and acquisition transaction, right? And so we gave GPT the law firm name, where the HQ is, and we said, hey, like, were they recently involved in an M&A acquisition? If so, just find me the website. So GPT did the research, and for every single column, it found me the website. Again, remember, pretty much from HQ location to the left side, that's where we started with. That's all we had. And so from here outwards, you'll see how we build this list. So we first found the law firm website. Then what we did is we went to add enrichment here. We put in find contacts at company. You'll see, or it should be something like contacts. Hold up, find contacts at company. And then we said save results in a new table. And what we did was we gave it the column of the website here, and we just put in the job titles and like everything, M&A lawyers, mergers and acquisition lawyers, that type of thing, right? And what we were able to find was this right here, where we got this entire lead list of M&A lawyers. And so just off of the company name and the HQ location, we were able to find all of these lawyers. So then what we did was we were like, okay, just to make sure that LinkedIn isn't bullshitting us, let's score the lawyer, right? Let's see if they're actually a lawyer. And what we were able to find was, or what we did pretty much was we scored a lawyer, again, using the LinkedIn profile of this person, and give me a score of 1 to 10 on how closely they fit this composition or this description. And we said, okay, they're a lawyer who works on corporate transactions, right? And then what we did was we filtered out all the ones that were, I believe, 8 and below, and just kept everything else. And so you can see here, all of these are 8, 9s, and 10s. And so we were like, okay, now all of these lawyers are a good fit. Now let's enrich the data. And I believe, what is this one? I believe it might be the same thing. Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. So then what we did is we used an enrichment called Full Enrich, right? Well, Full Enrich is, and again, not sponsored, but they combine, I believe, let me see if I go to their website. They combine, let me see here. Okay, it's not here, but they pretty much combine all of these different data tools, such as Snob, such as Hunter.io, and it's like 5 data enrichments in one. And they combine it all to find you the email. So all you have to give them is the name, the LinkedIn, the company they work for, the website, and then it'll find you all of their emails, right? So then we got the emails of all these lawyers. Then what our client last wanted was they wanted lawyers who were focused on consumer brands, right? So like CPG brands who do M&A. So pretty much it's M&A lawyers who were focused on consumer brands. And they wanted, think of like someone like Best Buy, Target, Walmart, right? So then what we did was we then scored it again. We were like, okay, from 1 to 10, how likely do they fit this description, right? And we said a lawyer who works in the consumer section, such as CPG, blah, 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 blah. And we outputted all the ones that were CPG. They wanted both, but they wanted to have a label that says, okay, is this CPG, is this not? And then so we just put consumer focused. So you can see here, again, a lot more technical, but this just shows you the power of using something like Clay. Like this is super, super in-depth in detail. And now they're able to reach out to these customers, to these lawyers. But you cannot do this by just using Apollo, right? You can't just like go on Apollo and just find all this. You have to filter out specifically using tools like Clay. And so this is pretty much how we use Clay. One is for lead generation in terms of like finding the ideal customers and outbound and having specific tailored messages and personalization. And the second is more so lead enrichment scoring, right? Having stuff like this that shows, or doing like deep research to find specific type of ideal customers so that you can reach out to them. Again, the benefit of having this is you will only work with your dream ideal customers. And this is super powerful. It works super good. And I love doing something like this. So yeah, that is pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen. So that is the entire Clay table. Again, if you want this, at least small business workflow Clay table for free, join my free school community, and I'll gladly give this out to you. But if you found it valuable, please press like and subscribe. And if you are a B2B business and you want us to pretty much do all of this for you and help you book anywhere between 10 to 20 calls a month, click the link in the description below, and we can set up a time to chat to discuss more. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.